Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to a brand new video. This morning, I'm super excited. Of course, yesterday, lads, like I told you, it was never going to take a lot of time. We are at 40,000 subscribers, and that's why you can see I'm absolutely very, very excited. 40,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. That really means a lot. Let's continue subscribing to the podcast. Our road to 50k is still going on, so make sure you do continue subscribing as well. In this episode, we're going to be talking Gabriel Jesus and Yuri Tielemans expectations, Edin Nketiah's announcement again this week, Ban Leno to Newcastle, Christopher Nkunku will be costing 100 million euros if anyone wants to sign him, PSG and Arsenal included. Rafinha wants Barcelona, and Milinkovic-Savic has refused to sign a long-term contract with Lazio with hopes that he will be moving on this summer. That and more we are going to discuss in this video. We'll talk about Victor Osimhen's first opening bid, which was outrightly turned down. It was ridiculous, and it was actually turned down by Napoli. So make sure you hit the like button for me. Where should we get this one? Let's get this one to 400 likes. Please make sure you hit the like button. Please, let's get that one to 400 likes. Yesterday our target was 500, and we absolutely destroyed the target. Let's get this to 400 to 400 likes. It is our morning target. But of course, let's get to the content. Now, yesterday Arsenal completed their first signing of the summer. If you've not watched that video, please do. Marquinhos was announced by Arsenal on the official Arsenal website, and of course Edu said they've been following the player for quite some time, and it was not just a panic buy. So Marquinhos was announced yesterday, first signing, 3.5 million euros from Sao Paulo in Brazil. Will join the club in the coming weeks for pre-season. Of course, it is expected that after the current international break, we're having the UEFA Nations League, we're having AFCON qualifiers. I think the next international break will come in September, if I'm not mistaken. So Marquinhos will be traveling to London to join up with the rest of the team. If not in London, then I think it will be in America to join up with the rest of the team in pre-season. The feeling around the player and Arsenal is that he will be assessed during pre-season, and we will know, or we will see whether he's fit to be a part of this Arsenal project, a part of this Arsenal squad right away, or he needs a loan deal before he can actually join up with Mikel Arteta's senior team. So we wait and see, but that one, the first signing of the summer, is done. And this week we expect more deals to be progressing. We expect more deals to be coming in. First and foremost, we expect Arsenal to announce the deal on Edin Nketiah. Now, yesterday, I was looking through the Arsenal website, and they had announced out-of-contract players for both the men's and the men's team and the women's team. Alexander Lacazette and Edin Nketiah were some of those, or were a part of those, were part of the staff whose contracts had actually run down. However, with Edin Nketiah, it was written in brackets that talks are ongoing for a new deal, and it should be announced very, very soon. Now, today, a couple of reports are suggesting that after announcing Marquinhos, the next announcement from Arsenal Football Club is going to be the contract extension of Edin Nketiah. So this week could be a massive one in terms of Arsenal pursuing their targets, but also completing those deals and negotiations that have been actually taking very, very long. Now, in terms of Gabriel Jesus and Yuri Tielemans talks are progressing with his entourage. Personal terms are very close to being agreed, according to what I've seen. However, the deal is expected to be done after this international break. So before the international break, I think Gabriel Jesus and Yuri Tielemans, you might not see a big or huge announcement. However, what I've seen with Gabriel Jesus as well is that his camp and his entourage are very, very secretive of the deal. They don't want to leak anything regarding this deal unless it is on absolute purpose. Of course, I told you yesterday that Erling Haaland signing for Manchester City meant that the shirt number that has been of Gabriel Jesus will be going to Erling Haaland. It is going to take some time for this deal to get announced, especially given the fact that Arsenal have now announced Marquinhos. They're not going to buy as many players as they did last summer. And even if they do, I don't expect Arsenal to announce 4 deals in January. If they do that, announce Matt Turner, announce Marquinhos, and announce Edin Ketia in June, that is going to be absolute, an absolute shocker for me. I don't expect them to do that. But with Gabriel Jesus, you expect that announcement to come in very, very soon. Erling Haaland is a confirmation that the player is leaving the club. Everything agreed on that, between player and club, that is Arsenal Football Club. He has an agreement with Manchester City to leave. Nothing has changed. So this week is going to be an important one in terms of progressing for the deals, and we expect announcements for both Yuri Tillemans and Gabriel Jesus to come in after the international break. Gabriel is with Brazil, and Yuri Tillemans has joined up with Belgium for the UEFA Nations League. But like I said, much of these deals, for me, the better part of them is completely done. For me, like I said, 89% I believe Gabriel Jesus is going to be an Arsenal player, and 79% I believe Yuri Tillemans is going to be an Arsenal player. I'll be so shocked if Arsenal just woke up one day and they said, we've missed out on Gabriel and we missed out on Yuri Tillemans. So this week is a big one. Keep your eyes really, really open. Bernd Leno, back in the news. I thought his talks with Fulham were actually conclusive, but they are not. His agent has actually come out and said they are not under any pressure. They're not under any panic. He's still Arsenal's number one, and they will take their time to sort out a deal. I don't know why agents at times just act like that. Bernd Leno is no longer Arsenal's number one, and we all know that he has an agreement with the club to leave this summer. Now, coming out and saying that the player is going to be staying at Arsenal Football Club, or he might start Arsenal Football Club because he's Arsenal's number one, when we clearly know that he's actually fallen out of the pecking order, really doesn't make any sense. But the good news today is that Newcastle are backing for the player. They've always wanted him. The feeling around Leno and his camp is that the player wants to stay in London, and that's why Fulham have been leading the race. However, a couple of other clubs are also interested, like Fulham, like Newcastle, and also Borussia Dortmund. But for me, in my opinion, I think if he wants to stay in the Premier League, if he wants to stay in the top flight, he should join Newcastle. Newcastle have a better chance of staying up next season and the seasons to come. And also, when you look at, if you're talking about projects, upcoming projects that are really, that beautiful, projects that could push you to join a club, I think Newcastle have the better project for Bernd Leno. But Leno to Newcastle, Fulham talks ongoing, but also Newcastle are backing for the player as well. Christopher Nkunku is going to cost Arsenal and PSG or whoever is interested in him this summer 100 million. Reported this morning. Leipzig, they won 100 million euros for Christopher Nkunku. What do you think about that? Talk to me in the comment below. Do you think he's worth it? He's had an absolutely beautiful season for RB Leipzig. I think he was voted Bundesliga Player of the Year. I might be wrong about that, but I think he was voted Bundesliga Player of the Year. And also, he has outscored any other player for RB Leipzig this season in all competitions, and also in the German Bundesliga. Come on, he's been an absolute beast, especially with his numbers and statistics this campaign. But 100 million euros, Leipzig, for me, in my opinion, they're trying to keep him. They're trying to hold on to him. They don't want to let go of him this summer, and you will understand why they don't want to let him go. He's a very, very good player. They want to give him a new contract with a release clause. Like I said, if they can get a club that can give them 70 million, 80 million euros this summer, they will sell. I think Arsenal are not going to pay that. Yes, we want him, and he's on the list of left forwards that we are looking at, but 80 million euros and above, that is absolutely not going to happen. So Christopher Nkunku's price has been set at 100 million euros. Will us not even try? Let's wait and see. But of course, the reports I've seen claim that Arsenal and PSG are willing to go for 100 to go up to 100 million euros to sign Christopher Nkunku. That doesn't make any sense for me. It doesn't. I don't think Arsenal will go there. Serge Milinkovic-Savic has turned down a new contract offer from Lazio. The contract would keep him at the club until 2025. It is very, very clear that Serge wants to move on, although his conditions are also very, very high. He wants a club that has UEFA Champions League football. Lazio are very okay with selling the player. His contract is going to run down next summer, so they're okay with him moving on. 27 years of age. They're saying he's a player in his prime, so you have to give us at least 40 to 45 million euros. Their initial demand was around 66 million euros, but they're not going to get a club that's going to pay that money for a player whose contract is running down. And also, there are so many central midfielders on the market going for around 30, 35, 25 million euros. And you could just get yourself a one Douglas Luiz on a free. I'm not saying Douglas Luiz is as good as Serge Milinkovic-Savic, but what I'm trying to say is that they need to reduce that price. And also the fact that he only wants to play in a club with UCL makes things hard for Arsenal. Yes, he's turned down a contract extension at Lazio, but then that doesn't put us in poor position to sign him this summer. We are interested in him alongside other names, including Yuri Tillemans, including Ruben Neves, and a couple of others. But at the moment, the deal is very, very complicated for Arsenal. Today, I will be dropping all midfield targets that Arsenal are interested in, and we'll be ranking them just like we did with the strikers. Now, Rafinha, also linked with Arsenal. There is genuine interest, according to Fabrizio Romano, has said he would only want to join Barcelona this summer. His priority is joining Barcelona. He's already told Leeds United that next campaign, I might not be playing football for you. He has already agreed personal terms with Barcelona since February. So you can see that he's really interested in joining FC Barcelona. This is my reasoning around that. Around this deal as a Barca fan, because I really love Barca as well. I think we can pay 55 million euros to Leeds United, but I do not see how that money is going to be paid by upfront, and that is where clubs like Arsenal would be in a better position, than Barcelona, because Barca are not going to pay that money up front. Ousmane Dembele could leave the club this summer. Chelsea are in advanced talks with him. So if Ousmane Dembele leaves, Frankie de Jong leaves as well. You expect at least Barcelona to bring in Rafinha, Robert Lewandowski, and Bernardo Silva. But look, Arsenal would have been a very, very good home for Rafinha. A very, very good place to shine. Come at a club like Arsenal where there isn't a lot of pressure at the moment. You're going to be given the game time, and you're also going to be an instant star. But the player wants to play for Barcelona, and I absolutely respect that. And everybody should respect that. I mean, not every player wants to play for you, and not every player doesn't want to play for Arsenal Football Club. Finally, let's talk about Victor Osimhen and this bid that is making rounds and circulations all over the media everywhere. Arsenal are reportedly yesterday, we put in 51.4 million for Victor Osimhen. Now that is way below the valuation of Napoli. Napoli are not going to sit into negotiations with any club, and I'll repeat that. Napoli have said they will not sit they will not sit for negotiations with any club that do not have the capacity to raise 100 million euros. That is 85 million pounds. Arsenal's opening bid was 51.4 million, and yeah, you guessed it right, it was bounced very, very quickly. So that is it this morning, with lots of stories still transpiring around the club. But that is it this morning in terms of an Arsenal update. I'll keep on updating you in the afternoon, in the evening. Make sure you follow me by subscribing. My Twitter is Cossy Arsenal. Follow me on Twitter as well. Facebook, Cossy's Arsenal Podcast. TikTok, I'm there. You just search for Cossy and you'll be able to find me. Cossy111. Cossy111 on TikTok. See you soon.